Hello everyone, today we're going to be taking a look at creating a drop-down like this, where you can put it anywhere in your application and you'll be able to sort a set of content, whatever that may be, either by the time it was created at, alphabetically, or whatever else you can think of. The way we're going to be doing this is with Turbo and Stimulus. I think we've covered something similar before on the channel, but this is a pretty clean implementation that hopefully will let you expand it as needed. So we're going to do this real quick. I'll show you how to do it without refreshing, or with refreshing the page, and then without refreshing the page. So we'll just do an inline edit. And to do this, we'll do a Rails new video, and then we'll CD into it and run a code dot. So overall, it's not terribly difficult. The only thing you really need to be careful of when you're doing this is to make sure that you're replacing the correct frames. So if I come in here, and I scroll in a bit, and I scroll into my console a bit, if we click on something like our posts here, we can see this is inside of the div with an ID of posts. If you were to do something like replace the posts with the new set of posts after you sort, because like you're going to change the order of it, then you would pass it in here to replace it. Sometimes you might do something silly like add your container target here and instead target this container. And then what happens when you replace this post is you can end up in a situation where you also get rid of this div right here. And this div right here has our sorting inside of our little drop down. So if you were to target the wrong thing, you can end up in a situation where you just get rid of an element on your page and you're wondering why things don't work right. Alternatively, you can accidentally get rid of like your stimulus controller itself, depending on how you structure things. So you do want to be careful of that. If you ever run into a situation where after you click on something, it stops working, the first thing I would check is to make sure that you're not you're like updating the div and not replacing it, because if you replace it with like the contents of what's inside of it, you won't have this div anymore, then you can't target it again. And I would also check to make sure that you're not accidentally replacing your stimulus controller as a whole. Let's go ahead and let's do this real quick because it's actually not terribly difficult. First thing we're going to do is come into our terminal, run a Rails G scaffold post with a title and some content of type text. Next we'll do a Rails G stimulus, and we'll call this the post_sort controller. Next, let's run a Rails S to start our server. Come into our DB and our seeds file. Inside of our seeds file, I'm going to F11. We're just going to do 5 times a post.create, where we give it a title with a number in it so we can sort alphabetically, and it'll work based off that number. And then we give it a created at of time.now minus i.days. Because that'll give us a created at that is different by 1 day each time, which we can then use to make sure that we're sorting it chronologically as well. After that, we can go ahead and save this, come over here and do a Rails db:/migrate command, just like this. And then we can do a Rails db:/seed command to seed our database. I know there's combo commands you can use for this, but some people don't know what the individual commands are, so I just like to focus on that. Next, we're going to do a Rails S, come over to localhost port 3000/posts, just like that. And next, we're going to come into our app, our views, our posts, and our index page. First thing I want to do on our index page is get rid of this post right here that has all of our posts. We're going to cut this out and do a render for a posts partial. Let's come into our app views post folder, right click new file, and create this posts plural.html.erb partial. We're going to paste this in. The reason why we do this is because we have the div with an ID here, so we can target this for a turbo replace. And when we do a replace, we're going to have the div with an ID already in here, so we're good to go. So now in our index, we just have these 4 lines. It's kind of boring in here. Let's maybe add something else. Let's do a stimulus controller and go from there. So we're going to start with a stimulus controller. I guess above the post would make the most sense. We bind our controller using a data-controller of post-sort, and then inside of app JavaScript controllers, we can see this post_sort controller. We use post_sort right here by doing post-sort, because we have nothing better to do with our time than convert between kebab case and snake case for some reason. I think it's for like consistency with Rails maybe, because if you do like a data attribute, it goes from a hyphen to a underscore as well. Personally, I just think it's mega cringe, and we should stop doing this and just you know, make this match this, but what do I know? So that's now going to be connected. We can come in here, excuse the messenger notification sounds, and we can do a console.log where we say hello stimulus with this element just to make sure this is working. We'll go ahead and we'll save this. Come over here, hit Control-Shift-I, over to our console, scroll in a bit and move this down. And now we'll refresh We can see in here, hello stimulus, and this is the div that it's actually being attached to. So that's this div right here. So whenever we do this dot element inside of our controller, we'll immediately have access to this div without needing to do a document.getElementById. by ID. Cool stuff. Okay, so now in our index, now that we have this, let's go ahead and let's create this select option. We'll start by adding a label, just like that. Refresh, and now we can see that sort by appears there. Next thing I want to do is grab this select right here. This is going to be a big one. I'm just going to paste it in because nobody wants to watch me type all this. And basically all we do here is we give it a name, pretty self-explanatory. It's sort by. An ID, also self-explanatory. The data-action isn't really that explanatory, so we'll cover it. It is a post-sort, again, same as this controller name because we're talking about this controller. So it's the post-sort controller and then the update action. If we look inside of our routes file and we do a route to the post controller index action, you'll see this convention right here where we do controller action. It's the same thing we're doing here with the controller and the action. We then have a data-post-sort-target, which is select. The reason why we do this is because then inside of our stimulus controller, we can do something like this, where we tell it this is a target that we want to use, the select target specifically. And what this is going to allow us to do is call this .selectTarget.value to see what the value of this target is. So we can test this as well just by doing a console.log with this inside of it. And now whenever we select this, or whenever we load this, it'll tell us what the thing inside of here is. Of course, right now there is nothing selected because it's just an empty select. So if we open up a new window, we'll just see a blank line here. So let's go ahead and let's add a option to this. We'll start by adding a time posted option. It's going to have a little bit inside of it, but hopefully you can bear with me. So this has a time posted. It as the value, it then has this selected thing right here, which is just checking if the param or if the sort by param is equal to the time posted, which is just what this value right here is. So whenever we click on this, ideally it's going to take us to a URL that has time posted inside of it. And then this will be able to tell if that's in there, and then it'll say, okay, this is now the selected option. If we come over here and refresh though, you'll now see that the console log right here of the select target is time posted. Although it says newest here, it's grabbing the value of this option, which is this time posted. And this value is what we're going to be using in the backend. And just by using this .select target, thanks to this select right here, because it's a select inside of targets, you do the keyword select and then the keyword target because it's a target. We grab the value just by calling .value. Pretty self-explanatory there, but it's important to make a note of this. So by doing that, we can have access to it. And now in our index, what we can do is we can add the other options. So I think we had 3 others. I'm going to paste them in of the source code in the video description. If you don't feel like typing all this, I totally understand. I don't feel like typing it either. That's why I'm copying and pasting. So here we have the time posted reverse, which again, just does the selected by, checks if it's equal to that, has the alphabetical and the alphabetical reverse, which is just the A through Z and the Z through A. And the important thing to note here is these are kind of like, I don't know, computer readable. So it's easier for us to tell what these actually mean. And these are just what the humans see because they make sense of this somehow. This is now effectively all we have to do on this page. We can now come over here and refresh and we'll have this drop down. And if we hit, if we hit Control-Shift-I, you'll see the time posted is set there. If I change this, we're going to run into an issue. We don't have this action for this post-sort update. So when we said post-sort update, we never created it in here. So what we want to do is create this action in here. So the update action is just going to be a quick little method that has update, the console log that says update, and then it calls this .sort posts. For sorting the posts, pretty easy as well. All we really have to do in here is grab the select target value, set that to equal to sort by. We'll then grab a URL, which we can do by saying URL is equal to /posts sort by equals sort by. This is not really the best way of doing this, just because if you change your route, you're going to run into issues here as well. What you can do instead is probably do a little bit of Rails magic to make sure this is coming from your index. But here I like doing this just so you can explicitly see what this is doing. Makes it a little bit clearer to see like how this parameter is sort of structured. And then once you do this, you have 2 options. The first one is refresh the page. You can do this just by calling turbo.visit and then the URL. Just like that. If we do this now, we come over here and we click on oldest, and we click on A through Z, we click on Z through A. You'll see every time we're doing that, we're hitting this get posts for whatever the parameter is. Just like this. We have a get request here, we have a get request here. So every time this is happening, you're effectively refreshing, but changing the value of this from like alphabetical reverse to just alphabetical. And then you can see this thing right here changes. Now this is good, but it's not changing the posts, because the last thing we have to do is hook this up to the backend. To do that, we can come into our controllers and our post controller, and here is where we sort of set up this magic. Instead of having post at all, we can say @post is equal to a case for the params of sort by, because that is what we have right here, our sort by params, which is also what this sort by right here is. It's sort by equals this. So when we grab the params sort by, we're grabbing this value in here. So that's what's going to be in this. So we have that value, and we know that that value is going to be equal to either a time underscore posted, a time underscore posted underscore reverse, an alphabetical, or an alphabetical underscore reverse. So we can then grab all of these and we can just make a switch case for each of them. Say, all right, so case when it's alphabetical, I want to do a post.order title ascending. That then gets put into @posts. And then we can just handle the other cases real quick, which we do right here. We say when it's alphabetical reverse, change the order of the title. When it's time posted reverse, make it in ascending order. When it's default, make it in descending order, which is also what it's going to be when it's newest. Although you could make this like explicitly be, you know, time posted and then copy this right here if it were to change for some reason. It's kind of redundant though, because you have this extra case, but whatever makes you happy. So we can do that. We can come over here, we can refresh, we can click on these, and now we can see these things are changing. And what's interesting here, and what you might notice is we didn't have to set up any of the turbo frame stuff. So we have these turbo frames right here. We have this, actually we don't have the turbo frames here. I'm getting ahead of myself. We optionally have the ability to add some turbo frames to make sure that in our posts partial right here, that we replace the contents of this post ID. But right now what we're actually doing is each time, because it's refreshing the page, we don't have to replace this because it just refreshes the entire page and gets this stuff, right? If we want this to happen without refreshing though, it's actually not that bad. What we can do is come into our post controller, just like down here where we have this respond to do block. What we can do is just create a respond to do format here, where we do a format.html, which is the default option when you refresh the page, and then a format.turbostream. You can save this, come over here and refresh. You'll see this is still causing it to hit this page and do this entire request. So it's not doing the turbo stream. To make this do the actual turbo stream in our post controller, we have to do a little bit extra. It's kind of not great, but it is what it is. We're going to go ahead and comment out the turbo. We'll just do like a, I don't know, this.do turbo request. Again, probably name it something better, I guess, but you get the idea. And then we'll do a do turbo request right here. So this is just a separate method. So the first thing we want to do is a fetch. A fetch. Let me copy this code again. We want to do a fetch to a URL. This URL is this URL right here. We want the headers to be an accept for text/vnd.turbo-stream.html. This is unfortunately what it is for turbos. If you want to make the request a type of turbo, you have to put this ugly monster in there. So maybe store this in like a const or something. After you have your fetch, you can then do a .then right here, where you do a .then for a response, the response.text. And then once you have that, you can do the magic line, which is a .then for the HTML. And you say turbo.render stream message HTML. If we do this, we come over here and we refresh, and I hit enter here. If we click on like the newest, you'll see we get an error. This is beautiful because it's an error we can actually work with. It tells us post controller index is missing a template for this request invariant, which is this right here. What this means is, because this is our index action and we have a index.html, we also need a index.turbo_stream. So we'll right click on post, new file, and we'll say index.turbo_stream.erb instead of HTML. And then inside of this turbo stream, what we want to do is, because we have this post partial over here, right? I'm going to target this ID, replace it with the contents of this post partial, which also includes this ID. So we can just say turbostream.update the post partial with the post/posts. So it takes this entire partial right here, updates it with the contents of this partial by passing in the new posts variable from our controller. If we save this one line right here, we refresh, change this to newest, or A through Z, or Z through A. You can see in our terminal here, if I click on another one of these, if I hit F11, we are doing a get to /posts, and then we're processing this as a turbo stream without refreshing the page. And the best way to see this is in our index page right here. What we can do is just real quick do like a input type equal to text. Close the input, or I guess we don't have to close it. We can just do it like this. We can refresh, do like an SDFFF, whatever. If we click on this, you'll see this changes and our input here doesn't. If we come back to our stimulus controller right here, we can comment out this do turbo request and go back to the turbo visit. And I'm gonna copy this and refresh the page. Now, if I paste this in and I change this, you'll see that clears the form because it's actually refreshing the page. So that's where having this, this little helper here does the turbo request is really nice, because then you don't have to worry about changing something here, causing the entire page to load and messing up the user's flow. So yeah, this kind of builds on the turbo request video I did, I guess last night. Again, you don't really have to do this here. You could also take this and move this into your post controller here, where you just add it afterwards. And then you just say something like this, where you do a turbo stream, or you render a turbo stream with a turbo stream.replace for the posts. With the post partial, you pass in the locals, etc. But I think we can all agree that this is a little bit neater, and it allows you to very quickly see what your turbo actions are right here in your post view. So yeah. Anyways, I hope this was interesting and helpful, and I hope I will see you in the next video.